y'all, and welcome to the Liberty Lovin' Kitchen, where the first ingredient is always love. And in today's video, we're excited to show you how to make Dad's most requested, most popular, and my personal favorite dish that he makes, Gourmet Gouda Mac and Cheese.
We'll start off with our ingredients. For the macaroni, we're using macaroni.
2 cups of elbow macaroni to be exact.
And as a matter of fact, we want to get this going, so we'll go ahead and put this in the water that we have boiling now.
Correct.
Set our timer for 8 minutes.
We've also already preheated our oven to 300 degrees.
300 degrees is preheated, yes, correct. And we have 5 tablespoons of butter that we're going to be making the roux with, already melted and warm on our skillet. So what we'll be making the roux with is
a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of black pepper, also a teaspoon of salt.
And what we'll do is we'll just take all these 3 ingredients and dump them into one, because we're just going to put it in our melted butter and go from there. So, if you want to join me around the stovetop, we want to get our heat turned up a little bit. And typically, this is actually, we're going to do a little experimentation for you today. We usually, well, and I say usually, always have done this in a Dutch oven. Either a regular cast iron Dutch oven, or we make it in a ceramic Dutch oven. But always cast iron, always a Dutch oven. Today we're using a cast iron skillet, because I'm hoping that it'll look a little cooler for the video, being in a wider skillet. So we sprinkle our dry ingredients onto the melted butter, and we're going to cook that for a few minutes. The flour to get it nice little roux. And I like to sit here and do a continuous whisking to make sure that it doesn't burn. Can you give me a little spoon? Right now I'm on about a medium heat. If I were to put the thermometer on it, I would imagine we're probably around 400 degrees. And I think that's beginning to cook pretty good. I'm going to start to incorporate our milk. We have 3 cups of whole milk. I don't believe I mentioned that when we were doing our ingredients. We'll do about half of it in there. And we'll kind of let that sit up. Making this roux is very similar to making a gravy. If you watched our biscuits and gravy videos, this is almost the exact same process. Now you'll start to see this is thickening pretty quick, and before it gets too thick, you want to add more to it. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the milk to it. Well, I may add that. Let's see what this does. And then I'll add the rest of it. You can add it all at once. I like to do a little bit at a time to let it thicken as you go, and then add more at that time. Then I'll back the heat off, add the cheese, and then we should be getting pretty close to our noodles. Let me make sure these are not sticking in the pot. We got about 3 minutes on that, so we're getting pretty close there. That's thickened up a fair amount, so we'll go ahead and dump the rest of our milk in there. We'll keep the heat up until this thickens up into a nice little roux, and then I will add our cheese. And I believe, Barrett, there was one thing I forgot to mention. We'll back out the camera in just a second. We had a comment.
Well, first let me mention that the types of cheese we'll be using in this mac and cheese are Red Wax Gouda cheese and extra sharp white cheddar.
We totally skipped over the cheese, didn't we?
Yes.
Apologize.
And on our video where we shredded a bunch of cheese, which you can see at the end of this video, it'll be linked. Donna Wooden asked a question about whether freezing cheese still preserves the quality.
Was that the Donna Wooden?
Yes,
Okay.
the Donna Wooden.
Wow, okay.
And Dad, what would you like to say in response to her question?
Well, I'm going to wait just a second. Actually, I can back this off now, I believe. I'm going to show you. Donna had asked a question about freezing the cheeses and if it's clumped together. You can come in a little bit. You can see this is the Gouda and the extra sharp white cheddar frozen as it was just a couple hours ago, and it's, you know, it's frozen together obviously, which is normal and what we expect. A few hours ago I took one of those out of the refrigerator. This is all stuff that we did the other day on the other video, and you can see after it's thawed it's identical to if we had just put it in the refrigerator and never frozen it. Tastes excellent, and it's good to go. So this is what we're using. The freezing had no negative effect on the taste or the texture of the cheese.
And one of the early times Dad was experimenting with this recipe, we did try smoked Gouda, but we found out that we prefer the just regular Red Wax Gouda cheese.
Yeah, if you know you like the smoked, by all means use the smoked Gouda. But we are, we smoke, well, as you may have seen on our other video, we smoke garlic. We like smoked things, smoked foods, but on the Gouda cheese, we all prefer it. We've all tasted it both ways, and we all enjoy it better unsmoked. So the noodles are done now. I'm going to drain the water here, and then we'll wait till we get a good roux going and incorporate.
And while he's finishing that up, don't forget to press that like button, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Leave us a comment down in the comment section, and also don't forget to share this video.
Now I turn the heat down while we stepped away for a second. You can burn this really quickly and easily. So when I wasn't here stirring it and I was draining the macaroni, I turned it to low and then I'm back up to medium. Like I said, it can burn really quickly. Got a spoon here. I'm kind of looking for about that. I like it to kind of stick to the spoon. I'll taste it. We're not quite there, but we're getting close. Maybe another minute or so. I'll up the heat just a hair. And then once we get there, and it's hard to give you precise time as to what you're looking for. You can see how the roux is sticking to the spoon. You want it to stick. You want to, when you taste it, you want to taste. You don't want to have a really milky flavor. You want everything, the flour and the milk, to have incorporated where it doesn't taste like either flour or milk. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'm sure if you've been making gravy or anything like this, you probably know what I'm talking about. I think that looks pretty good right now. I'm going to take my cheese. Again, this is a ½ pound of Red Wax Gouda and a ½ pound of extra sharp white cheddar. And that should melt up here pretty quick. And this has been sitting out. This was in the freezer this morning. Took it out and set it on the counter for the last few hours, and after it completely thawed, I stuck it back in the refrigerator so it wouldn't get too warm. And you can see by the look of this, this is almost completely melted after pouring it into that hot roux. And I leave my milk out for, my milk had probably been sitting on the counter for approximately maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't go bad that fast. And look at that. We got a nice creamy. Give you a spoon, son. Nice cheesy. Very nice sauce. And I'm going to turn this down to low now. I'm going to, like I said, I'm used to doing this with a high-sided dish. Oh yeah, that's good. So what I'm doing this time, I'm using a skillet. So I usually splash it out in the high-sided dish. I'm likely to splash it out even worse here. So I'm going to, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold this in my left hand, but sorry to be blocking the video. Just scrape out my 2 cups of macaroni. And we'll get every single piece because it will be eaten. It always is. This is one thing we don't run out of. I mean, we usually don't have leftovers if we have a large party unless we just make a very large pot full. As Bear said, this is probably the most popular thing we make. And we'll go around here and make sure I've got all the macaroni worked into the cheese sauce. I think we're good. So I'm going to take this and transfer this into the oven. Now we don't bake ours a whole lot because we like it still cheesy and not with very crusty on top. So we're going to put this in the oven for at 300 for about 15 minutes.
And some people like to put like a crumb on top. They might put crackers or other things. We don't do that.
Breadcrumbs.
But you're welcome to do that if you like that. Of course.
Correct. All right, we're going to put this in the oven now. Turn my stovetop off. Like I said, we're already preheated to 300. And We'll see how this works. I've never done this in a skillet before. It's always been a Dutch oven. So I'm thinking it may cook a little more because it's a little lower. But look how I spilled all that out. A little more surface area. So anyway, I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes. And we will check it when done, and we'll be back here in just a minute.
All right, it's been about 15 minutes and it's time to pull our mac and cheese out of the oven. So let's do it.
Glorious mac and cheese. Now it's not real pretty like that yet, but I'll usually turn it over on itself. Get that crusty off the top. I don't like that crust where it bakes the top, but there we go. It is
cheesy and bubbly.
It's very cheesy. Very how you say Gouda. Very
Could
Gouda.
say that, yes.
So there we have it. We're going to enjoy this now. Thanks for watching, and it's very Gouda, and I believe Barrett will take us out.
Before we go, just one last reminder to go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Leave us a comment down in the comment section and share this video with everyone you know. We'll see you next time here on the Liberty Loving Kitchen.
Thanks for watching.